Kayla get 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Thursday. It's February 29th, 2024. This is Community Conversations. Kayla Wonder is in the studio with you, and today I am joined by Mr. Curtis Walker Jr. He is a candidate for Circuit Court Judge, I believe you said Division 4. And of course, before we get into our discussion, do we have to give the disclaimer. Kayla K and the Voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, we do not endorse, support, or oppose any candidate for office. We provide these interviews for informational purposes only, but early going is ongoing, so we are encouraging you to exercise your right to vote no matter which candidate that you vote for. Election day will be coming up this Tuesday, so go ahead and make sure that you exercise your right to vote, because there's no vote, there is no voice. So with that, can I call you Curtis?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
man.
You see, we go way back to the college days. All right, so for those who may not be familiar with yourself, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your educational and your judicial and legal background.
Okay. My name is Curtis Walker Jr. I'm a deputy prosecutor over in Mississippi County. I've been practicing law 22 years, been a deputy prosecutor that same amount of time. Like I said, I was born and raised in Mississippi County over in Blytheville, and I'm married, have to Chanda Sullivan, Chanda Walker. We have two children together, Riley and McKinley, 16 and 14 years old. And like I said, I'm just happy to be here, happy to have the opportunity to even run for office, and just trying to get folks to come out and vote.
Okay, so what made you decide to run for office? You mentioned that you were you're currently a deputy prosecutor, and I know that you have a private practice in Blytheville. So kind of walk me through the thought process of say, hey, I need to go to the next level. I've started off with my practice, and then I kind of took a taste of seeing what it's like being on the prosecution side, but now I'm ready to make that next leap. What was the thought process for that?
A lot of prayer and encouragement. I'm a public servant, and I knew that when I came out of school. I was public service in high school, college, and when I started practicing law, my public service as a deputy prosecutor, 22 years, and then I served as volunteer counsel for legal aid, and have been doing it for 22 years. And I've been past 10 years in serving on the Legal Aid of Arkansas Board of Directors. Outside of the courtroom public service, I'm chairman of the Blytheville Community Samaritan Ministries Board, where we're a working board where we have a soup kitchen where we feed Tuesday through Friday over 150 to 200 meals a day. From there, I was blessed to be appointed to the Arkansas Northeastern College Board of Directors, where I served as chairman from 2020 to 2022, which was during COVID. So I'm affectionately known as the COVID chairman. A lot of tough decisions had been made during that period, but I felt like, hey, the Lord allowed those things to happen to prepare me. And I'm also a volunteer coach for Blytheville School District's Odyssey of the Mind team, which shameless plug, we just had a regional competition in Paragould this past Saturday, and the Blytheville teams finished first.
So y'all going to the World Finals?
Well, right now we're going to state.
State, okay.
Yes, and then state will decide who gets to go to World. So we're working hard and praying.
I did OM back in the day, but
yes.
we got to state, but we never did actually went to World, which I actually hate that.
Yeah, it's an experience, man. The kids, it's a really good experience.
It really challenges your mind.
Oh, it does. It does. I mean, I tell people all the time about Odyssey of the Mind. I mean, that is where your future CEOs come from. Like I said, look at you, what you're able to do. I mean, it teaches you how to think outside the box.
Is the limit still $100 on what you have to spend for your project?
It is now $145. They went up $45.
And see, we talking about like, well, I'm sure you did OM too. So we talking about like in the early 90s.
Oh man. And the thing about it, and I didn't actually get to do OM when I was in school. My sisters did. And my dad would coach them. Like my dad's been coaching OM since we were kids. So man, this man's been coaching over 32 years, as far as Odyssey of the Mind. And so like I've only coached 10 years now, but it's something that it's a really solid program. Again, it teaches young people to think outside the box.
Okay, let's get back to the judicial race. Now, of course, obviously, you can't talk about how you would rule on a particular case if you're on the bench, but just kind of talk a little bit about maybe your overall judicial philosophy. Like, how do you want to use your position if you are elected, to help in the community? And I'll kind of give you an example. So, like on the district court level, we just recently had Judge Tommy Fowler on, and of course, him and Judge Bowling does the amnesty program. So, would it be possible to do things like that, or what are just some of the things that you would do if elected? To try. I mean, you still got to, judge cases and rule, but as far as using the position to actually be more helpful in the community.
Oh man, I would say this: one or two things. First thing, as far as being a judge, being fair. Regardless of the decision that is made, that person needs to walk out knowing I was at least treated fairly. Whether it went my way or not, I was treated fairly. And I think that's highly important. And then two, as far as community-wise, being visible. Being visible. And again, being a judge can be ostracizing. I've seen that as far as being a prosecutor, how ostracizing it can be. Because there are times, I remember when I first came back to Blauville, and like I said, I grew up there. But I remember first coming back, I was a prosecutor, deputy prosecutor, and I remember going to the barbershop. And I remember hearing all the talk, and I walk in, and things got quiet. And it's just one of those situations where I had to get people to understand I'm still Curtis. Like I said, I'm not out there. I'm not like Satan. I'm not out here to kill, steal, and destroy. And I'm not out here trying to do any of that. Like I said, I just have a job to do. And like I said, if you make the wrong choices that put you in my path, then I'm going to do my job. And so now, over the years, people know me and understand that. And so, I try to stay as visible as I possibly can. And I think as judge, I have to continue to do that, no matter how ostracizing that job can be at times. But staying visible and letting young folks see what they can be.
So talk about, along those lines, the importance of being a role model for the youth, showing that representation matters, showing that there are people that look like them in the community that can reach these positions. Tell how important that is to you.
Man, that is highly important. I tell people all the time I had no excuse. Now, my parents didn't go to college, but they made it instilled in us that you're going. And, you remember the Cosby Show? Mm-hmm. I remember being a kid thinking everybody watched the Cosby Show. It was funny. I thought everybody watched it. As I got older, I realized there were a lot of folks I went to school with didn't watch the Cosby Show because it wasn't real to them. They couldn't understand. They didn't see how, black doctor, black lawyer, family like that. No, that's not real. And I was blessed to have both my parents. I was blessed that the people I had around me. I went to school with Victoria Abraham. Her mother was Dr. Abraham. And I grew up seeing her, seeing that there was a black doctor in our city, seeing that she can do it. Maybe I can do that too. Now, I didn't become a doctor. I thought I was going to be a doctor, but I wasn't a science person. So, like I said, I went in law instead. But
what made you become a lawyer?
Oh, man. For me, Boys State. When I went to Boys State, it changed everything. Now, the seed was planted by one of my seventh grade teacher, Dr. Hunt. She, like I said, she planted the seed because I used to give her grief in her class. And I remember giving her grief because I'd like to argue. And I remember after class, she said, "Son, have you ever thought about becoming a lawyer?" Now, I never thought about it. She said, "Well, maybe you need to." And that planted the seed. And then when I went to Boys State, I remember running for state auditor and winning and realizing maybe I'm pretty good at speaking to people and speaking in public. And from there, it went from there. And I went to college at ASU and then graduated from there, then went to University of Arkansas, Little Rock, William H. Bowen School of Law, and got my law degree.
And of course, how do you feel that education prepared you for this office in which you're seeking?
Oh, man, a great deal. Like I said, I know going to law school in Little Rock put me where, Arkansas State Supreme Court is, Court of Appeals. It put me where the heart of the law is in Arkansas. And so, I would go check things out and just kind of see how it works on that level. And so, and like I said, William H. Bowen definitely prepared me to pass the bar exam. Because like I said, that's kind of, I tell folks that's like that the last gig at you. You know, law school's tough enough, but then they get that one last gig of the bar exam. But like I said, that school prepared me well, passed it, and it's prepared me as far as in my practice.
Awesome, awesome. We are speaking with Curtis Walker Jr., candidate for Circuit Judge Division 4. So what areas does that Division 4 carry?
Oh man, that will cover the 6-county judicial district. We're talking about Clay County, Craighead County, Greene County, Mississippi County, Crittenden County, and Poinsett County.
So that's a lot of area to cover. So kind of talk about how the campaign has been going. Have you been going around making the rounds, knocking on doors? How's it been coming?
Oh man, it is tiring. I mean, it's at the tail end now, and I'm trying to keep my foot on the gas. But man, Lord knows I am tired. But it's been good. It really has been. You know, like I said, the folks in the judicial district, man, really embraced me. And that's been a blessing. Like I said, I can only give credit to Jesus Christ for that. Because like I said, I'm not a politician. I'm not very good at it at all. But the Lord blessed to put me around people that are better at it, that can help me navigate the political realm.
So that's good that you got a great team on you. So if you get elected into office, what are you going to do on day one?
Oh, gosh. Day one in office, I guess it depends on where they put me. But like I said, basically try to set the right example and be a really good judge. And like that's my main concern. I want to be a really, really good judge. That I want folks to know that, hey, you go in front of Curtis Walker, he's going to treat you fair.
Okay.
He's going to do right.
And of course, I'm looking on your Facebook page, which is Curtis Walker Jr. for Circuit Judge, looking at a couple of your flyers. And, it does talk about your 22 years of deputy prosecutor experience. Says you've tried several jury trials from DWIs to capital murders. How do you feel like that particular experience prepared you for the position?
Oh, man. I think you really want your judges to have some real trial experience. Because, again, there are complicated issues that come up in trials. And if you've never faced any of those things, it's mighty tough just off the cuff to just come up with decisions. And so it's good to have someone with the experience that have dealt with these complicated issues that can helpfully make the best decision.
Okay. Now, even though you spent your time as a prosecutor, do you feel that you can still consider the defense side?
Oh, man.
Because you're going to have to basically weigh both of those against each other when rendering a decision.
What I have learned, and I was blessed to been trained under really good prosecutors over the years. And, when I think of, they passed away with Bruce Harlan, Leon Burrow, and now Brent Davis is still around, but like I said, training, under them and under now Judge Fred Thorne, I mean, they taught me that as a good prosecutor, you better see both sides. To be a really good prosecutor, you better see both sides. You better walk into that case and see what the defense is going to argue and then what you have to counter that. But then on the other side, also looking at the case, because when we get a case, we look at it before we file it. And like I said, we just don't rubber stamp cases. Like I said, we look at it because we want to make sure we got it right. Because my main concern is my worst nightmare is convicting an innocent person. So like I said, as a prosecutor, as far as a good one, you see both sides. You look at your pros of your case and your cons of the case. And you look at it to see, hey, did we get it right?
And I think that's absolutely correct. And of course, another thing that you wouldn't want to run into, you prosecute a case and a guilty person gets off on a technicality because something got screwed up somewhere.
Oh, that's the truth. That's it. That can definitely happen. No, that's the truth. So we always have to be careful, always.
All right. So is there anything else that you feel is in your background or your experience or qualifications that, in your opinion, makes you feel that you are the best candidate for the job?
I would say this, man. For me, it's my relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But through him, I wouldn't be in this position. I mean, there's no question in my mind with the experiences I've had in my life and that Jesus Christ influenced those things. He influenced my going to college, influenced my going to law school, influenced my decision to come back home. I mean, Jesus Christ is, I have learned when you follow his direction, you can't go wrong.
Amen to that. So even if God decides, even if God decides that this may not be your time,
Right.
you can still be at peace with it.
Exactly. I tell folks all the time, and they ask how things are going. I say, you want to know what I think or what I know? What I think is it's going well, but what I know is it's going according to God's will.
And of course, my grandma used to say, "What God got for you, you're gonna have it
For you.
and
That's
can't
right.
nobody just take it away from you."
That's right.
And if it's not for you, ain't nothing anybody can do that
Exactly.
can make it happen. All right. Any final thoughts or comments? Shout outs, anything else?
All right. Only that early voting is going on now, and election day is March 5th. So please, please, please get out and vote, and please vote for Curtis Walker Jr. for circuit judge.
All right, there you have it. Oh, also, are you doing any upcoming appearances in which people can meet you in person, or how can the person get in touch with you if they just want to talk to you or know more information?
Oh, well, through my Facebook page, you can hit me up on Messenger. That's how a lot of folks will hit me up on far as on Messenger. And like I said, I actually will be doing a panel, a Black History panel today at Frito-Lay.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if that's open to the public or not, but if not, you can still check him out on his Facebook page. And of course, we do wish you and all of our candidates that are running for office the best of luck. Kaylee K, we do not endorse, support, or oppose any candidate for office, but we do encourage you to exercise your right to vote. Early voting is going on now at the election annex. So I believe it goes on until like 5:30 today. And of course, on election day, any voting site in Craighead County, which is where we primarily serve, is open. So just go ahead and vote, y'all. It's real easy to do, and it won't take you long at all. And you can feel good knowing that you had a voice, because somebody's going to sit in that seat. Somebody's going to be the next judge. So why not have a decision on who that person will be? All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Community Conversations. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is Kaylee K, 102.5 FM.